Hello, word listeners, and welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. Today's word is camp, a two-level verb meaning to live temporarily outdoors. So, what does it mean to camp? Well, essentially, it's about setting up a temporary shelter, usually a tent, and staying outdoors for a short period, often for recreational purposes. Think of it as a mini adventure in nature. You might camp in a forest, by a lake, or even in your own backyard. Now, let's explore some synonyms for camp. A close synonym would be bivouac. You could say, the soldiers had to bivouac in the forest overnight. Another related word is encamp, which emphasizes the act of setting up a camp. For example, the army decided to encamp near the river for the night. We can also use the word outdoors, albeit it's not a direct synonym, but it is a related concept. You might say, we spend the night outdoors under the stars. Let's move on to antonyms of the word camp. A clear antonym would be indoors. Instead of saying, we went camping last weekend, you could say, we stayed indoors all weekend because of the rain. Another antonym is stay, especially when referring to staying in a building. For instance, instead of camping, we decided to stay in a hotel. Furthermore, a more general antonym could be live permanently. Instead of temporarily camping, someone might live permanently in a house or apartment. Let's see how camp fits into everyday life. You might hear someone say, let's go camping this weekend. Or perhaps, they camped by the beach for a week. You could also hear, we need to buy a new tent for our camping trip. Common expressions using camp might include phrases like camping gear, referring to all the equipment needed for camping, or camping site, which is a designated area for camping. Now, let's look at some more usage examples. We plan to camp near Yosemite National Park next summer. Another example, the family enjoys camping and hiking in the mountains. We can also say, they decided to camp out in the backyard to watch the meteor shower. Here are more phrases. Camping is a great way to connect with nature. Or, camping equipment can be expensive. Also, remember that camping involves more than just setting up a tent. You might need to build a campfire, cook food outdoors, and purify water. To further clarify, consider the sentence, the hikers decided to camp at the base of the mountain after a long day of trekking. Compare that to they preferred to stay in a comfortable lodge instead of camping. Another example is, before they could camp, they needed to find a suitable camping site that was level and protected from the wind. Let's make another comparison. She enjoys camping in the wilderness, away from the hustle and bustle of city life. Versus, she prefers the comfort of her own bed and the convenience of staying indoors. Or the children were excited to camp in the backyard, even though it was just for one night. Versus, they were disappointed that their camping trip was canceled, and they had to stay home instead. Remember, camping is all about the experience of being outdoors and enjoying nature. Think of the phrase camping under the stars, which evokes a sense of adventure and tranquility. Another useful phrase is camping trip, used to describe the entire event of going camping. For example, we are planning a camping trip to the Grand Canyon next month. In short, camp means to live temporarily outdoors, usually in a tent. Synonyms include bivouac and encamp. Antonyms are indoors and stay. You can use camp in everyday conversations when talking about outdoor adventures, family trips, or even setting up a temporary shelter in your backyard. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me on Hello, Word. I hope you found this exploration of the word camp helpful and informative. Now, before you go, I have a small favor to ask. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others discover Hello, Word, and continue their English learning journey. We greatly appreciate it. Also, I encourage you to create your own sentence using the word camp and share it as a comment under the video. I'd love to see how you're using the word in your own context. Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring the wonderful world of words.